Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited because today I am speaking with Diana Aldereguia. She is the creator of Memories in a Mansion and the Champions Book Project. And Champions Mentoring Creates Change is a publication that is coming out very soon, and it will be benefiting many women in need of help. And today's conversation is going to be all about Memories in a Mansion and more about how Diana came up with this concept and how important it is to have mentors and coaches in your life, or just that support system that's so important. So before we get started, let me tell you a little bit more about Diana. She's an entrepreneur, mentor, certified public speaker, a best-selling author, and a member of the One Philosophy's Founders Circle and Awakening Giants. She has appeared on Take a Leap Radio, WRPBI TV, and the Business Innovators Network. And we have actually been recording a series for Memories in a Mansion where we've actually talked to nearly 20 entrepreneurs, professionals, businessmen, and women about their participation in Memories in a Mansion and the Champions Book Project. So let's just say that Diana and I have been pretty busy in the last couple weeks bringing the story to life about Memories in a Mansion. Let me tell you a little bit more about Diana. Her biggest, most amazing accomplishment, and these are her words, is being the mom to her two children who are now in their 20s, and one just graduated from Ohio State University. And then also she was a full-time mom back in the day, but over the years she actually created a business based in real estate after she studied pharmacy and elementary education. So fast forward, and Diana has been very active in real estate, and she's also been a very active member of the Women's Prosperity Network. And part of her story actually starts there, I guess would be a good place to say. But let Diana tell you more about everything. And first, let's talk a little bit more about Memories in a Mansion so people can understand why this Champions Book Project is so important. And then we're going to go back in time in this conversation. So Diana, welcome.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much for interviewing all the authors, and thank you so much for all your time and attention. Genuinely, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Memories in a Mansion Leadership Academy is a global academy empowering the lives of over 10 million young women at risk. It transforms them into strong, compassionate, and self-sufficient leaders for tomorrow. It takes young women off the streets, and we give them training, coaching, mentoring, personal self-worth care, hygiene, personal development, business skills, speaking skills, career planning, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more. It's an in-house project, and we take them off the streets, like I mentioned, and we do nothing but give them personal development on steroids, basically. It's all about them and how to empower them to be self-sufficient, confident members of society. It's young women aging out of foster care. It's young women who suffer from domestic violence. It's teen moms. A lot of women are in the situation they don't know how to get out of, and they have children and they raise children and they don't know how to raise it. They weren't raised right, and they're raising their children in ways that also are not conducive to a proper environment, or at least to a better future, let's say.
Yeah,
So
it's always hard to talk about how people were raised, but I see and exactly what you're talking about, because I know many people that they don't have that support system at home because
correct.
they're from dysfunctional families or broken homes or patchwork families. And again, everybody's doing the best they can do, but think about it. If everyone had that mentor, that support system, that person who said to them, here, let me guide you so that you can see the
Right.
positive, see the light, that you don't have to continue living in this dark hole where you're never going to get anywhere. Think about how that could just make a difference in someone's
If
life.
everyone just dedicated their time to help one person, just one, imagine. Um, I think parenting is the hardest job in the world, and it comes without instructions. There's I I raise my children different than my mother raised me, causing me. My mother was not a bad mother. Let me say that first off, but she was all about working and not being near me because she didn't want to get sick if I was sick, and so basically I mimicked my grandmother. That's the mother I wanted when I raised my children. And many people would call me a helicopter mom. I was always there. I was at every school function. I was in the school book. I mean, I created the yearbook. It was always when they needed pictures, who'd they call? Me. Um, I mentored my kids' friends. They were going through things, and I'm like, oh my God, how do kids go through this? They called me to pick them up when they were having trouble at home, and I would, because that was my mission, was to be my kids' parent, and if and the extension was their friends, and then these children at least had parents that they could go home to. But imagine, there's close to 500,000 children in the US. But we're talking about 500,000 in the foster care system. Think
Wow.
about that for a minute. Think about how many kids that is.
It actually gives me, I've got goosebumps here thinking about how many kids there are who don't have that support structure, and that, and when you say aging out of the foster system, what does that mean for these? And again, we know that there's young boys and young women, but
That's
you
true.
got to start somewhere. So we're focused
Exactly.
on the young women because, face it, women typically have a little bit harder row to hoe because of the fact that they don't always have all the skills, and the way that women are raised is to look to someone else like a man to
Exactly.
take care of them. And so there they are, like, what do I do? But what does this aging out of the system mean? And what happens to these kids who are in foster care? Because from what I've noticed, it doesn't appear that foster care is stable, that they go from place to place and they're just moved on a whim of.
Yes. They don't even have suitcases. They have a big plastic bag that they just put all their stuff in. Imagine putting everything you own in a plastic bag. Think about that for a moment. We have houses, we have, I don't know, the sofa, the cat, the dog, we have our
Designer luggage,
yeah,
right?
exactly. And we have boxes and luggage to move them in. And I have a whole container, but that's another story. But these have one plastic bag. That's all they have, and they put everything in, and they're told, okay, you're going, you're not going to stay here anymore. So aging out means they're 18, and they no longer have a support system. They no longer have the foster care system to at least send them to another home to put them in. Because even, I mean, good, bad, or indifferent, if you have a place to sleep or and eat, it's at least a place to sleep and eat.
Right.
But once you turn 18, that's it. That's it. There's no more. They're cut off. And yes, there are group homes, but I don't know. I'm all about the group homes and making it work perfect, but you need to give them. If I give you, there's a saying, I'm not sure who says it. You give a man a sandwich and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you teach him how to eat forever.
Right.
So you need to learn skills in order to survive. If I didn't know half the things I know, if I didn't study pharmacy, if I didn't study elementary ed, if I didn't, I mean, a lot of what we know is based on our experiences, and many of my experiences have been through my children and my family. Many have been through friends. Many have been through strangers, acquaintances. It doesn't matter. But I've had them and I've learned. And now today I know that even the bad is a lesson. It's not, oh my God, no, it's a lesson to make me grow and help me grow.
So
But these children are made to feel worthless, and they don't have that.
So I wanted to ask you, and I'll wait to ask you more about the book project because I want to stay on this topic about these young girls. What happened, or what triggered this concept of Memories in a Mansion for you? I know that you have been in the real estate business for a long time. Obviously, you were a mom, and you were one of the lucky ones, in my opinion, that you actually had the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom. And I know, if you look at what you said, I wanted to emulate my grandmother because my grandmother was there for me. And then you said, and my mom, she was there, but she was always working. And that is and I have to raise my hand and say, that happened to me. That was not my choice to be the person working not one job or two jobs, but I went back to college at an older age. I had multiple jobs, all because of my children. And I was thinking, man, I've got to take care of these kids. And that's why I worked so much. And thankfully for me, I also was not somebody who took the drug path or the alcohol path or that path. I was more like, if I had to say aholic, it would be I workaholic, but it wasn't a choice in that sense that, oh, I love working and I did it so I could get away from my kids. It was more out of necessity. But tell me more about, how did Memories in a Mansion develop? How did you come up with this concept? Because it is obviously big. It's big picture thinking. And why
Big,
a
very
mansion?
audacious goal.
Yeah, why a mansion? Why did you do this?
Let me rewind on something you said. My mother, yes, she was working because she had to maintain us, and my father died when I was only 14, and yada yada yada. But my mother was not the person that, even when she was there, she wasn't touchy-feely. She didn't hug me and kiss me, and
Yeah.
and not just me. I mean, she's the type of person, and it was a joke in the family that whenever anyone came to see us or say hello or whatever, she'd always go like this and just put her face. And she just wasn't affectionate. And later I found out that she was manic depressive or bipolar, however you want to label it. It's the same thing. And it was taboo to talk about, and it just wasn't the thing.
Mental health issues are, and just now, I mean, if you look at history, just now are people talking about these different mental health, women's issues, all of the things that people were told, you don't air your dirty laundry in public, meaning you don't tell your personal stuff to the world. And now more and more people have permission, to do that.
It's okay to be whatever it is to be. And not 100%, but we're getting there. And there was always the thing that I was a lot like my father, and I felt my father wasn't perfect. And it was okay for him not to be perfect because he was loved, and he was he was one of those people that everyone loved. My mother, on the other hand, you couldn't be more perfect almost. And she was a perfect employee. She did what she was supposed to. She was there all the time. She was one of the, and it was such hard work, and it drained her so much. And everyone, liked her and cared for her too. But at home, I didn't have what I felt I needed if my grandmother had not been there. So that's why I say, she was a good mom. She was a good caretaker. And like I said, even with all her mental health issues, she worked as a pharmacist in the Veterans Administration Hospital in high, it was an intense job. She did IVs, and it was very, very detailed, and she had to be on point. So even with all that, she succeeded. But she was never an affectionate person. It just wasn't who she was. And I, on the other hand, was all touchy-feely and huggy and kiss, and that's who I was, and that's how my grandmother was. And so that's that part. Now, why the mansion and why the program? Well, the way it was born is, I think, what you asked me also, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In the Women's Prosperity Network, there's a program called Level Up, and it's how to take your business to the next level. And I went for my real estate. I went to level up my real estate, and that's what I went. And then they ask, different people what it is that they that they want to work on. And when it came to me, I just stood up and said, I want to a leadership academy for young women at risk, and it has to be a mansion. And then I looked at myself and I said, I just said that. I came for real estate, and now I'm talking about a leadership academy. Where'd this come from? So I guess it was bigger than me, and I went with it. And ever since, it's been 2 years, and here I am. It's coming to fruition, and I'm excited, and I can't wait. It's been a long road, but it's been an awesome one. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself, and in my goal and my desire to help these women and others in general, I've healed myself a lot. And I've learned that you know what, it's okay to go through everything I've gone through. And right now I'm in Ohio. I've been working on real estate, but I've been living with my kids, and I'm not used to that. I'm not, I have to be humble right now because I don't have to do everything. I can't put together the program, work on my real estate, pay for an entire living space all on my own. I can't do it all. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful to them. I'm thankful for the road, the lessons, everything. It's been a mission, and it will continue to be, and I'm sure that I will continue to grow and heal as will these young women.
So you said, why a mansion? Why a mansion? Why is that so important to you? Obviously it's memories in a mansion.org. So there's something there, what in that name, what does that mean? So obviously mansion and memories is really important.
Yes. I want to create new memories. That's to begin with. I want them, we're working with mental health professionals who help reprogram the trauma that these young women have gone through. Having said that, why a mansion? If I were to ask you, describe what a hamburger tastes like, how could you, and I've never had a hamburger. Could you tell me, and do you think I'll understand?
No. Like if you've never had, like if you don't eat beef.
I've never had a hamburger. I'll give you a perfect example. I I had a friend who worked at the collection, the car dealership, and I passed by. We had some stuff going on, and I passed by, and he said, "You want to go for a ride in a Ferrari?" I'm like, "I'd love to." And I said, "I'd love to drive it." He says, "Yeah, no." And I was in the passenger seat, and he drove me around, just around the neighborhood, for about 20 minutes. I was in the Ferrari. I can say I've been in a Ferrari, but I can't tell you I've ever driven a Ferrari. So I don't know what it's like to drive a Ferrari, but I would like to know. So if I'm exposing these young women to new training, new thought patterns, new skills that they're going to have in order to survive, why not give them, how do they know they even want a mansion in the future? I know that I don't want to live in a mansion when I go back to Florida, and I don't want a mansion. I want a nice big area, lots of land where I can grow all my fruits and veggies, and maybe a 4-bedroom house. But I don't want a mansion. That's me. But how do they even know? How do they know what it's like if they've never had it?
Right.
So I want to give them the full experience of having lived in a luxury venue, having all the best food, having someone, and they're going to grow the food also. They're going to help cook it. They're going to be involved in every aspect of their learning. I believe, in all the 7 intelligences, and I'm going to make sure that they're all implemented, because what one learns one way, another one learns the other. My daughter, for example, she's all auditory. My son is hands-on. He needs to see it.
Wow.
So
It's such an interesting thing because, again, so the journey that a young girl would take would, what's the mechanism for someone to enter the Memories in a Mansion program?
they have to want, the main goal, the main thing that's required is for them to want to do it, for them to want to be better, for them to improve, not with the mentality of, oh, I'll get to live here for free for 4 or 5 months, and then I'll go back and look for baby daddy, or no. They're going to go through an intensive interview where they want to have the desire to change. And once it gets started, let me tell you, once the program gets started and gets out and people start succeeding, and these young women start seeing the change in their peers, I think that will grow, that there'll be more and more and more. And we're not going to have one location. Our goal is to grow globally. I have someone in the Netherlands who wants to take the program there. I have someone in California who wants to take it there. I have someone in Georgia who wants to take it there. And in North Carolina, I have a friend who wants to work with the boys. So it's not just going to be girls. It's, we're just starting off with the girls.
Right.
They're the ones that get pregnant. They're the ones that raise the kids. They're the ones that, what now?
Right.
And if we have conscious mothers who raise boys and girls correctly, I mean, with
The word.
I know that's, and I don't like it necessarily, because who dictates what's right and wrong, right? But at least with a conscious awareness to treat people with love and respect, regardless of who it is. If all these mothers that are coming out of these programs all over the world have children that they're educating to treat others with love and respect, because they love and respect themselves, what kind of a planet are we going to have? Oh my God, it's going to be phenomenal.
Right. That is beautiful. Well, Diana, obviously there's so many levels to this program.
A lot.
And it is just getting started. So let me go back and ask you more about the Champions Mentoring Creates Change book project, where you actually hand selected 18, 19 people to
There's 20 authors,
20
including you.
authors, including me, to share their journey. And again, I, all the interviews we've done, everybody had this bigger picture of how they could make a difference in the lives of people. And from all these conversations, the themes kept bubbling up, of hope, of light, of foundations, of giving back, legacy. um, it was just phenomenal, all of the different levels that people were coming to the table, even to the point where you have Bill Hansen, a famous caterer in South Florida, who donated the venue, at that, and then why he wanted to be involved. And I thought, wow, because the people who are coming forward are all leaders and they're from all over the world. Like you said, this is a global project, and the people come from all over the world. So tell me more about the Champions book project and when that's supposed to be coming out.
The launch is August 1st. And like you said, Bill Hansen did donate his venue, which is Villa Woodbine. And he's catering it. And we're going to be there from 7 to 10, just a plug, on August 1st. And the 20 authors, I have not posted it all over social media looking for authors. I have not, I haven't done a mass mailing asking people to become authors. No. I did it very organically. I did it so that the people who were meant to be in the book are in the book. And there are people who want to impact our future generations. We need to, because I don't know about you, but this planet has not been going towards the direction that I would like to see. So the more people keep changing, the more people keep, the more people keep influencing, the more leaders come forward and influence the future generations, the better the environment and the communities that our children will grow up in, and our grandchildren. Mine are in their 20s already, so my next generation are grandchildren, which I don't want right now. Let's start with that. Not yet.
Well, it's always good because, and I've heard you say it many times, if you just touch one person and help them improve the lives, and if you listen to many people, that's why many people go to Africa or to third world countries to help, because they can do a lot in that environment. If they help a woman, like, have a little, start selling eggs, for example, she can change the life of that whole village. And what I really think is important is that you are working here in the United States also, not just out, because there's so much need. And I mean, I've witnessed it I live in Florida, and I've met girls who they meet your criteria. And I just think about, wow, if somebody could take that opportunity to go to learn skills and to learn what it's like, so that they can see, gee, my life doesn't have to be all my belongings in a garbage bag. I'm worth more than a garbage bag as my suitcase. And I can just see, the vision, as I say it, I'm getting goosebumps, because I can see it all coming, and I can see all those locations around the world, and the smiles and the giving back, and that success of all of these people going, yes, I participated in Memories in a Mansion, and look at me now. I have confidence. I can help other people, because you're absolutely right. If people learn that they don't have to rely on somebody else, that they've got whatever it is within them, and they know that they have a support system and a foundation. So even somebody to talk to about all of this stuff is huge. And you even mentioned they learn about hygiene, how to act, how to cook, how to grow food. I mean, finances, all of those things that seem to be lacking in our communities today. It's like so many people, they don't learn anything, because I know in the last 10 years, maybe even 15, all the education system was all about passing a test. It was all about, teaching to a test instead of teaching skills on how to think and how to do, and how to learn, and how to be physically fit, and how to eat right, and all the things that we used to learn as part of our elementary and junior high school education. I don't think they have a lot of that. Even art classes, music classes, appreciation, social studies. People don't know about, you know, the different parts of the world and what's going on. So it's very interesting, and especially in the last few years, being diverse used to be a good thing, and in the last couple of years, it's like, no, it's not good to be different. And for we had come so far in acceptance, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody's there with an eraser trying to erase everything, so that the chalkboard is now blank and all oiled up. You can tell I come from the era where we had blackboards or chalkboards, and it was an honor to be chosen to clean the blackboard. Don't ask me why it was an honor, but I thought it was a great honor to be asked to clean the blackboard, and you'd oil it up. It was like, don't ask me. But it was a responsibility.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. It was that, you've been given this great responsibility to make sure that the blackboard where people would learn was cleaned off properly. I think that was the psychological message. But I'm so excited for you. So it's memoriesinamention.org is where people can go to get all of the background information about the program. And then it's Memories in a Mansion TM trademark on Facebook.
Correct.
And people can go register for the August 1st book signing event, and it's a gourmet extravaganza. Just to let everybody know, I did interview Bill Hansen, and he hinted at the menu. And the reason that I want to mention that is because during the interview, not only did he hint a little bit at the venue and how fabulous it was, but a little at the menu, and then he told some really cool stories about some of the let's just say presidents that he worked with. So I just want to mention about all of the interviews that we did, because we talked with each author in the Champions book. Diana and I came together for each interview, and we just asked them questions about why they shared what they shared in their chapter. We talked about their big mission in life, and about them a little bit more personally. So they're really interesting conversations. And so I want to invite everyone listening to this conversation to plug in. Everybody's used to binge watching or binge listening, and you can do that, but it really shows you how beautiful and diverse and complex all of these people are. They all come from different backgrounds, different locations. They're men and women. They all have different levels of education, but every single person, they all believe in the Memories in a Mansion project. That's the big common denominator. They all see that your Diana's vision is very huge and very big, but very doable. And they're all right there every step of the way supporting this vision. And that's why I raised my hand to say, okay, well, what can I contribute? And I felt, well, my biggest contribution would be to allow people to speak and to talk, and that we would record it. And now we have an archive of this project. So, it's something for people to see, well, here's the humble beginnings. Here's Diana now, here's all of these people now. And then in the future, we can come back and visit it, after they've had the first people go through and go, wow, did you ever dream it would be as big as it is today? And Diana will say, oh yeah, I dreamed it. I could see it. And then we'll be able to say, and it happened. So I'm really excited about
that. I feel that what is going to happen, as big as I dream and as big as I imagine it, I think it will surpass it. I have that feeling.
Because I really think that like some of the projects that I'm passionate about, Perfect Sister Project, and that was another thing I got from all those conversations, was many people have big visions that are like sister projects to the Memories in a Mansion. So if everybody's on this big picture page, it's amazing what will happen. And your goal is to reach 10 million women globally. And I think it will actually surpass that.
I believe it will.
Look at, for example, just look at Facebook as an example. And I think, if you look at where that started, it was with him literally playing around with faces at a college campus. So maybe it affected a couple hundred people. Now, the last time I saw it, Facebook was going out to more than 2 billion people. So think about that. So your 10 million is a big number, but at the same time, it's a fraction of the reality of how big Memories in a Mansion can be.
But imagine if it is only 10 million people.
Oh,
imagine those 10 million and their families. So it's 10 million families. So that multiply that by at least 4, because it's them, their spouse, and 2 kids, let's say. So we're talking about 40 million people, minimal.
Yep.
And then generations to come. So it's a generational program that will, my goal is to get rid of foster care, to not have the necessity for it.
Wow, that's really beautiful. Well, I'm going to let you go, Diana. So before I do, again, thank you so much, because I just love the fact that we got to kind of unpack the vision a little bit, and again, barely scratched the surface, but it's memoriesinamension.org and Memories in a Mansion TM on Facebook, where you go sign up for the August 1st book signing for the Champions Mentoring Creates Change. And I think that's so important. Think about what that Champions Mentoring Creates Change. That really sums it up, and that's very beautiful. So I'll give you the last word, Diana.
Thank you, Tammy. If we just help one person at a time, like I mentioned earlier, if we can just help with our grain of salt and help one person at a time and change communities one by one, I think this would be such a humongous change in the world. Just make it a point to just, again, it doesn't have to be Memories in a Mansion. Whatever organization you feel fits best, but make a difference. Make a difference. Find your purpose and make a difference. help someone else find theirs.
Well, thank you, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.